Good morning, Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome to another edition of the JV Sports Show. James Poovey alongside my broadcast partner, Vince D'Alicio. Vince, we got another big show for him coming up here today, pal.
Man, you know what? These shows just keep getting bigger, James. I don't know what to say. I'm stumped. I didn't even have time to shower.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. But anyway.
Well, luckily you're at home, so we can't tell.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, yeah.
Even on YouTube, you can't even tell, so it works out.
Oh, I'm glad.
Don't forget, we're live on YouTube now. Join us on our YouTube channel. Just search JV Sports Show there, and you'll find us. It'll be live right now.
Yeah. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the JV Sports Show. As my esteemed partner, James Poovey, said, Vince D'Alicio here with James Poovey. It's been quite a week. We have been on a scheduling frenzy with this Thursday night high school game of the week. And I just want to give a disclaimer here, James. When people hear the JV Sports Show Thursday night high school football game of the week, this doesn't mean we are broadcasting junior varsity football on Thursday nights. No, let me again clarify, ladies and gentlemen, that what's happening is that schools are rescheduling, our featured schools are rescheduling a Friday night game to a Thursday, and we are broadcasting varsity football. So making that clear, we got just about every date filled. We're waiting on one more date, and we're waiting on one school in particular that we've been in talks with. They're waiting for their schedule to get finalized. There's the potential that we may have one more date based on how things play out with another something else that James and I had tentatively scheduled on a different evening. But it's been crazy. James, this is nuts.
Yeah, it's gotten nuts, Vince, but it's a good thing because we have a ton of interest in this, and we think it's really going to be successful. We're going to make it a great product that we're going to put on the field or put on the screen, I should say, and it's going to be a really good time. So right now joining us from the Phoenix Union High School District is Dr. Zach Munoz. Dr. Munoz, how are you doing this morning?
Thanks,
Aaron. Hey, there we go, Aaron.
All right. Dr. Munoz, how are you, sir?
No, just unmute your Zoom and then you keep talking on the phone and you're good to go.
Yeah. So
we'll have you on YouTube there as well. Perfect. Okay. There you go. Now we got you.
Yeah, it's like a simulcast here. This is, when I was a kid, I told James, I told the story last week, but it was such a big deal to have something simulcast on TV and on the radio. And I remember watching a Phil Collins concert, and my parents got mad at me because it was on the radio and it was on TV, and they said I was wasting electricity. But to hear Phil Collins on drums in 1981 was pretty special for me. Speaking of drums, I got to talk about this now.
We have to talk about this. Yes.
James, like you, Dr. Munoz is an aspiring musician. He is a drummer for a local band, for a local Van Halen cover band called the Honey Badgers. And what do you guys play?
We play a mix of stuff, a lot of classic rock, some country.
Wow.
We have a young lady that sings with us that does a lot of Linda Ronstadt and, stuff like that. She's got a beautiful voice. All of our band members are educators, principals, or retired administrators, and our lead female singer is a teacher herself. So,
Dr. Munoz, I had no idea you were a drummer. How long have you been playing? We got to talk shop here.
I've been playing since I was probably 6-7 years old. My brother was a drummer and had an old Ludwig set, and I basically taught myself to play to records, and then I eventually took lessons and had some great teachers and played through college. Actually did a lot of gigs to help me survive during college with some pretty good musicians.
Well, yeah, on an educator salary, you must be doing that now too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
So how did you come up with the name the Honey Badgers? What is that all about?
Oh, one of our band members, he's a principal in the Peoria School District. He chose the name just because the Honey Badger just doesn't care about what people think. You sound good or sound bad. We're going to play either way. But we got some pretty good people playing with us, and we have a good sound. We played up at Dillon's on Arrowhead last weekend. Kind of opened up live bands again there. We've been playing there a few times. We play a lot of stuff in the Peoria area. So trying to get our name out there. We have fun though.
Now,
Nice.
Vince mentioned you guys do some Van Halen stuff. What tunes do you do from VH?
I was just kidding. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm trying to add a little prestige to his act there by throwing that out there. So I don't know.
Well, the reason I said that, Vince, is because I'm thinking about starting a Van Halen cover band.
Really?
Let's face it, there's not one in Phoenix. There's the Atomic Punks out of California.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones nationwide, but there's really not one here in Phoenix. So I'm going to change that. Anyway, back to sports.
Yeah, there you go. So, Dr. Munoz, so you are also on, with my understanding, from what I recall, you're on the executive committee, executive board for the AIA. They've come out with some guidance. What's going on for fall sports?
Well, the release of their guidelines happened on Thursday. So, I think one of the things that the district schools were asking for was some guidance and leadership from the AIA, and so they came out with some pretty detailed information. They've been working with the National Federation of High Schools Associations, looking at the CDC recommendations, and working with their Sports Medicine Advisory Committee to create guidelines on how schools can safely reopen sports and activities too. That includes clubs and extracurricular things that go on. So because you have to look at both, because kids are going to gather and sponsors have meetings and things after school. And so pretty comprehensive list of things. And that's kind of what our schools have been doing, is working on creating, specific to their districts, but very similar to what's already been out there or has been shared.
Dr. Munoz, I haven't really gotten a chance to dig through the fine print there inside those guidelines. I know a lot of it relates to the student athletes and the fact that they're going to have to kind of stay apart a little bit, and no sharing of balls and so forth on the practice court or whatever. But how is it going to pan out so far for fans? Do we have any information as far as, will there be fans in attendance at fall high school games, or is everything going to be live stream? Is that really going to be the go-to, maybe even for this year, if not going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way it's going to look is very similar to what they're doing with the process for starting sports again and activities. It'll be phased in. So the first level of recommendation would be, just your essential workers, your scorekeepers, your officials, coaches, trainers, equipment.
Broadcasters.
Right. James,
I don't know if I saw that on the list.
Whoa.
We are essential.
We have to be essential personnel. Come on now.
Oh,
you can zoom that, I guess. But and then, based on that, moving into another phase as we're able to communicate to our communities on what, if you attend, would look like, and social distancing. I think the concern is, obviously social distancing, but when you bring families together, and an athletic director has to go up into the stands and say, hey, you need to be 6 feet apart. You need to sit here. You can't. And you start getting into confrontations on whether, it's a husband or wife or a brother or an uncle that are sitting near another relative. And now you're in constant, confrontation, trying to make sure you're creating a safe environment. So that's a big concern for athletic directors. They already have enough on their hands working a game without having to try to monitor every little piece of that, where the spectators are sitting in proximity to each other. So, that's got to be done safely, and people have to understand and cooperate if in fact we do allow fans to return.
So they talked about, gave some guidance on summer workouts and making sure that conditioning is no more than 2 hours per day and things. Can you confidently say that game one will start when it's scheduled to start? Because a lot of the high schools have been releasing their schedules, in addition to us with the Thursday night high school game of the week being August 20th, which we'll be announcing the full schedule. That's it, pretty soon. Do you feel pretty confident that things will proceed in that aspect in terms of game schedules?
Well, I don't know if confidence is the word. It's things change really quickly with what's going on right now. So that's the goal. Let's put it that way. The goal is to to try to start on time. I think based on that phased approach with what the AIA is recommending and the NFHS and districts are following, which is, small groups, 10 or less, and then second phase would be 50 or more, and then third would be full open. So, I mean, there's two sides of that. Again, you talked about the fans. One thing is returning to actual competition with kids and coaches, and then the other is what are we doing with our spectators? So, the goal is in all, intents and purposes, David Hines is pushing to make sure we try to start on time, but it may get pushed back just to make sure everybody's at a safe place before we all have some equitable release into the sports schedule. So I think that's the other concern is everybody kind of starting on their own date, and we don't want to do that. We want to try to stay within what we've created for schedules.
Well, kudos to you and the AIA board as well for coming up with something and letting the kids get back to practicing and trying to, obviously it's going to be in a phased approach, but being able to get back to practicing and being with their teammates again and communicating with the coaches in person, even though it's, at a safe distance. But so it's a process, but we're going to get it going back. And we appreciate you joining us here this morning, Dr. Zach Munoz from the Phoenix Union High School District. And stay tuned here on the JV Sports Show. We got another great segment coming up. Next, we're going to be talking with Mark Bunker from the Scottsdale Community College. He's the basketball coach out there. So we'll visit with him and talk a little Artichokes basketball and see what's going on over there at Scottsdale Community College. Excuse me.
Thanks, Dr. Munoz. We'll be back.
Guys.
All right. Thanks for
Stay
joining
tuned.
us on the JV Sports Show. Go JV.
Perfect. Thank you, Aaron.
All right.
Thanks, Dr. Munoz.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Don't forget to watch that space launch, 12:22 p.m.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yes, sir.
I've invited Vince to some of our gigs. He never shows. So
he never even texted me back. Don't feel bad. That's okay.
All right.
We'll be out there. We'll be out there.
We'll see you guys.
All right. I'll bring Ron. Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. So we'll bring in Coach Bunker. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, there's Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, Yahtzee.
Coach Bunker, good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I like the background.
Yeah, nice. Good stuff.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, I know.
I got us both going at the same time. I got the
you got to
computer
figure
audio,
out,
but I got
do I mute this? Do I mute that?
Time.
What do I do? Everyone's done really well with this, Vince. Let's face it. I mean, we just kind of threw this at them. Hey, we're going to put you on YouTube too, by the way. So be ready on camera and have your microphone set up, and everybody's done great. So it's been good stuff.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on with us.
End of the day, I mean, I think so many of us have done tons of these that we're getting used to it.
Exactly.
It's good and bad at the same time. Like, I want to be in person, but at the same time, I've gotten so used to doing so many of these meetings that it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that are really going to suffer are going to be the airlines, because half of them are going to shut down because no one's going to, for business now, no one's going to travel anywhere. Why would you?
Why would you? Why am I going to fly everybody out to Dallas? Why am I going to fly everybody out to Memphis? Why, wherever to do, a weekend conference when you can do it, just over meeting. The great thing is like, I've had so many meetings that, and I'm sure you guys are the same way. If you've ever worked in the corporate world of, wow, that meeting could have been an email. I've gotten a lot more of those, or even an IM, meetings. Like, it's just, hey, let's not waste our time. Shoot out the email and be good with it. So, yeah.
Craziness.
So I figured we would, we talk about your season. Congratulations on your Coach of the Year honor. We're going to talk a little bit about that, considering the coaches that are in the league, man. And then recruiting and how that's going. And James, anything else that you can think of that maybe we can?
Yeah, just, what you've been doing with your team. Obviously, you guys have probably been doing this Zoom thing, and how that's going, and how are you able to kind of check on the guys and see what, track their progress. So, I've heard of all kind of sports, I've heard of these pro sports teams, they give all the kids Apple Watches, and then the coaches sit there on their
Wow.
and they track exactly what they're like. Oh, I see you didn't go run yet today. What's up? You know, like I can see you. You're actually looks like you're still in bed.
Your
from
heart
what I'm
rate
seeing
hasn't
here.
gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the JV Sports Show. James Poovey alongside my broadcast partner, Vince Delisio. We are pleased to be joined now by head men's basketball coach for Scottsdale Community College, Mr. Mark Bunker. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you for having me on.
So Coach Bunker actually chose the music this week for us. A little anger rock here with the Rage Against the Machine. Coach, what is it about this band?
I mean, it's one of those things. My older brother, who's about 3 or 4 years older than me, kind of put me onto them. I graduated high school in 2002. He was in '98, so he was really a teenager right when all that grunge rock and the transition from the hair bands like Poison and Rat and all those other bands in the 80s and 90s.
The golden
years
age
of rock transitioned with Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all those bands from Seattle, and then Rage Against the Machine came out, and it's just one of those things that I've always enjoyed their music. I mean, unfortunately, they don't really tour that much anymore, but I'd love to be able to go to a concert. I heard they were supposed to come out here before this whole virus hit, so it's like they're the type of band that breaks up every 20 minutes. So it's like they'll get back together and then they'll break up. So this is probably one of those times they'll break up again. And yeah, oh yeah. So great music,
Tom Morello,
etc. Great. Definitely gets you in the weight room. You'll put up a couple extra pounds on the bench if with them playing in the background.
Coach, you grew up here in the Valley. You're a former player, and you spent some time at ASU as well. And you're now back at your alma mater at Scottsdale. You've been working out there. You're the SID. You're the head men's basketball coach. You wear a lot of hats, but you had a pretty good season this year. And congratulations on your Coach of the Year honor, considering that some of the the veteran coaches, the deans of coaching that you have in your league. Amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I mean, I know it's going to sound cliche, but it's the truest thing in the world. It's about the players. I mean, anytime there's a Coach of the Year award, it's the testament for how good our team was, how good our staff was, how good our equipment guys, our game operations guys, our athletic director, our student success coordinators, our training staff. It is really a program award, because I still haven't scored any points, grabbed any rebounds, gotten any steals at any point while I've been the head coach over at Scottsdale. So, it's really something that, we as a group are very proud of. So thank you for that.
Well, speaking of your players, Coach, how have you guys been able to handle this coronavirus situation over the last couple of months? And obviously with things kind of opening up a little bit more now, are you guys able to get together a little bit more in person? Obviously, it's going to be a step-by-step process, but how is that going for you guys?
So far, we still have not met as a group. What we'll do is we will do things like this, like we're doing right now. We'll do Zoom meetings, we'll do FaceTime calls, we'll do text messaging, we have group chats, things like that. Our district chancellor still has not really given us the go yet to meet as a group yet with students or student athletes. So we're still waiting on that. We've been given, a little bit of an idea of a plan, but it looks like it's still going to kind of be months away before we do anything. What's been great about everything so far is everyone has been really flexible. I mean, our players have been flexible. Our instructors have been flexible. Everyone in our offices have been flexible with, making sure guys are, signing up for financial aid properly, or admissions, or, making sure they're signing up for the right classes, or petitioning for graduation. That, a lot of people could use this virus or use this quarantine as a really, really big excuse. And I think it showed our program and our campus, the true colors of, hey, we're all in this together. And, they really did a great job. So yeah, it's the last time I truly saw everyone was in our region playoff game. So that was over 2 months ago. So
wow,
I am itching to get back together as much as anybody is. It's, just to be able to go into the office would be more convenient than, spending so much time at the house. But it is what it is. And, we adjust and, we do what we have to do.
Coach, you had a really good, an outstanding season, 23-8. You had a tough final game there, losing in the playoffs to Pima, nationally ranked Pima team, by 2 points. Players off that team, what's going on? Where are they going, and what are you bringing back?
So last year we had 6 sophomores that were a part of. We had basically an 11, 12-man roster, and then we had a couple red shirts. But 6 of those sophomores are all going to be able to move on. All 6 of them have scholarship opportunities. 5 out of the 6 have already made their decisions. Our point guard, Donald Carter, he signed early. He signed in November with North Dakota State.
Wow.
Division I school up in the Summit League. They actually won their league, and they were cut short because they ended up winning their conference tournament, and they didn't get to go to March Madness and things like that. But their coaching staff up there is fantastic, and they've actually won their league, I believe, 3 out of the last 7 or 4 out of the last 7 years. So he'll have a shot of being on that Selection Sunday and everything like that when hopefully when March Madness comes back around next year, next March. Our other guard, Boogie Anderson, he's also going to the Summit League. He's going to the University of South Dakota. So our boys are going.
Those guys will play each other, yeah.
Yes, they'll be
awesome. And what about it?
So also go winter coach shopping together too, Coach.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. So that's the crazy thing is that I don't think they're ready for all that. These are Arizona boys. That these guys aren't ready for that Dakota cold where it's negative 13 outside. But hey, more power to them. But
Xavier Fuller.
Then Xavier is also going to the University of South Dakota, so him and Boogie will be able to play together, and they'll play against Donald. So
that is
I
cool.
think if they play each other in that Summit League final or something like that, I'm definitely going to make a trip up there to go watch them play against each other. So yeah, Xavier and Boogie are at South Dakota. Donald will be at North Dakota State. Chris Orozco, he's going to Cal State Maritime. They're in kind of that San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah.
Really great engineering school. He wants to be an engineer, and they're one of the top engineering programs in the country. So he's going there. They're an NAI program. They play in that Cal Pac. So he'll get to come home every now and then, play against Benedictine, play against like Embry-Riddle, play against Park University, Ottawa, things like that. So he'll get to spend some more time here, and on the road, I'll get to watch him play. Riley Maddox. Riley's going to Southeastern University. They're in Lakeland, Florida. So he's going across the country to an NAI out there. They're a top tier NAI program. They've been to the national tournament pretty much like 8 out of the last 9 years. They've been 20 plus wins every year. So his team will have a chance of winning the whole thing. So we're pretty excited about that. And then the last one would be Brett Macy, and Brett is still deciding. He told me before this process even started that he wanted to wait the virus out as long as possible.
Yeah.
Now that I saw, for example, the NCAA just completely canceled all the July recruiting and things like that, that I don't think he'll be able to take many official visits or things like that. I think Brett will probably readjust his ideas on what he wants to do. But he has about 5 or 6 different opportunities, scholarship opportunities. He's a really good student too. So he's pretty smart, and he's 6'8", and everybody needs height, and everybody wants a good student. So he's going to have an opportunity as well. So, I mean, we always tell ourselves as a staff, like our number one goal is to move guys on, and to move 100% for your guys on is definitely something that we try to hit every year. And we're going to be able to do that this year. So we're happy about that. So, that being said, we have a lot of work to do because we're losing 6 of our top guys, and returner wise, we have a couple guys that played significant minutes. We have a couple guys that will get the opportunity to have larger roles. Josh Sutherland, was a guy that started a game or two for us, had about 15 to 18 minutes a game, kind of played a utility role for us. He played a backup post position. He played a backup wing position. He's kind of that Swiss Army knife type guy. He's another kid that's a great student. He'll be pretty highly recruited just because he'll have so many different opportunities to move on next year. So we're excited about him. And then Tyler Curvey, very similar to Josh, kind of played that utility role for us where he kind of played a backup guard, backup wing. It's hard when you have 3 Division I guards ahead of you that those guys get the lion's share of the minutes, and no matter how close you are to them, they're the ones that are going to get, first to the table, if you will. So we're excited for those guys to step up and be in a leadership role for us. And so far, they've done a great job of, kind of taking the reins of the program, of, making sure guys are, getting to know each other. Because one of the things that was so important for us last year was that our team had such great team chemistry that no one really cared who scored, who got the stats, who got the rebounds, who got the whatever, that they really enjoyed success for each other. And I think that's what's going to be important for us next year as well. Because end of the day, you only have these guys for a year or two. They have to get to know each other fast. So,
and coach, that's exactly how you go 23-8, is that team chemistry that you talked about, where it's all about the team. It's not about me. It's not about what I'm doing. It's about what we're doing. And if there are any players out there listening right now to the show, and they want to check out your program, maybe get some more information, or maybe try to get in there, what's the best way for them to contact or reach out to you guys, especially with this unique time that we're in?
We do have a website. It's gochokes.com, www.gochokes.com. There are recruiting inquiries and recruiting kind of questionnaires on there, so they can more than welcome to fill those out. Every single one of those gets back to me. So it's one of those things that they're always welcome to do that. And, it's one of those things that I'm always looking for players, always looking for guys that can help us win and, help us be a better program.
Great. SEC head men's basketball coach Mark Bunker joining us here on the JV Sports Show. Coach Bunker, thanks for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, stick around. We will be right back with one of the legends, Jeff Munn.
Go JV.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Hey,
thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. That was easy. It's fast.
Good stuff. Have a great weekend.
James, we got to get out there and do a game for these guys.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah. We'll come out and live stream a game.
Hey, I'm the SID too, so
see there.
Reach out to.
Awesome.
Might even get a roster, Vince.
Oh man, yeah, that's the one thing we
That'd be next level right there.
Never get any rosters. It's like, okay, who's number 8? Who's this?
Oh God, I know. And how do you pronounce their name? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
That's also on the SID. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll do both.
Hey, thanks, Coach. We appreciate you.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
All right, Jeff's hopefully getting in here in a minute. We'll see.
Yeah, no kidding.
That was a good segment.
It was. Let me make sure.
I've got to try that pizza. Every time I hear that commercial,
it's
with meatballs and olives, that sounds really good on a pizza.
Yeah, we'll do it.
They seem to be. I see them plugging out the to-go and the delivery and all that. I think they're still rolling over there, or trying to keep it rolling, huh? Now they're reopened, apparently.
Oh man, halfway through.
Halfway. Yeah, don't forget about that launch. 12:20. It's a second shot today. They tried on Wednesday and it didn't go because they scrubbed it. Jeff
just said he's on Zoom. He said, "Do you see me?"
No.
Uh-oh.
He might be trying to pop in right now.
Oh, okay.
Because I got the waiting room up right here. I'll see him when he pops in. This has worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
It
almost seems like we know what we're doing.
Yeah. It's almost too perfect. All right.
GL who? No, he's not listening. It's okay. He's door dashing right now.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Sweet. Did you see the show I released last night?
I did.
I got it out. We need to talk about that on here, by the way.
Yeah.
Because it's only got like 3 views, so I don't think anyone knows it's out yet. Welcome back to the JV Sports Show. A little more Rage Against the Machine there. Maybe perfect timing for that band right now, Vince, with everything going on in the world this week, especially.
Oh, Cheryl just walked behind me there. Never mind. I don't know. She, you guys at home on YouTube, maybe catch a glimpse of her walking by. Anyway, she's trying to be real covert. There she is. Right
there she is. Hey, Cheryl.
Anyway, all right. Yes. Live radio and live stream. We keep it real here.
We do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by royalty, broadcasting royalty. Yes. Yeah, he may not believe it, but he certainly is, and he's one of the most respected guys in broadcasting. That I know of out there. And Mr. Jeff Munn. Jeff, good morning, sir. Okay.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah. While you're doing that, Jeff, I want to ask you something, because I have just, you and I are friends on Facebook, and I've just become so enamored with Stevie. Tell everyone about Stevie. Yeah.
Here you go. Good. Right now. Now I'm letting you in.
Hey, there he is.
There he is. Now he wants you connect to the audio in a second. We'll have you. Yes, sir, please. There we go.
I just use him. He becomes my spokesperson. And usually what happens is the show that I'm on, I do it like I have to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning to do it. And he's not very happy about me waking him up at 3 a.m.
But he looks so, in every picture you post of Stevie, he looks so disappointed in you. Like you just want to please him. I mean, I feel so bad. I feel like
he's disappointed because I've woken him up and because I have to leave, which means the guy that feeds him is taken off. And the other thing is I have to leave him alone. He has to handle the TV remote himself. So if he wants to watch his usual TV shows at 4 a.m, he's on his own.
So if you're going to leave him alone like that, you at least need to set him up, Jeff, before you leave the house. I mean, get his morning coffee for him and get everything ready to go.
He knows how to get into the refrigerator. And my son lives with me, and my son has a tendency to leave food items around. So he's never hurting for food.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't. He looks well fed, but anyway. So
yeah, he's a little too well fed to be honest.
Jeff. So talk to us a little bit about the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame. What's going on?
Well, the ballot was released, I think a couple of weeks ago, and this has been a pet project of mine. First of all, I have some involvement with the Sports Hall of Fame. I do some voiceover work for my friend Nikki Balich Camerata, who really runs the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame. So I've had an interest in it for a number of years. The background is the Hall of Fame has existed for over 5 decades, but it went dormant for about 20 years. Wow. It was just basically a display at the Coliseum on the concourse. And when the Suns moved out of the Coliseum, there was just basically kind of people forgot about it. And unfortunately, it went for a long time without anybody going in. no ceremonies. And so it was resumed about 10, 15 years ago, and they've had to do a lot of catch-up work. There are a lot of people who should be in. Basically, the ballot for this year's induction came out. And the reason I get so involved with it is there's a gentleman that has been on the ballot just about every year, who's one of my mentors and heroes, Tom Dillon, who was the voice of the Sun Devils for many years.
Yes.
And he should be in. And I have a number of coworkers that I used to work with at another radio station where Tom worked. And we worked very hard. I'm not giving myself any credit to get Tom into the Arizona Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame. And now we're trying to do the same thing to get him into the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame. So that's the reason why I've posted about it.
So I have a quick Tom Dillon story, and so when I was a graduate assistant at ASU in the 90s, but my final game with them was the January 1st, 1997 Rose Bowl, and I'm sitting in the press box and working the game on my headset with the guys down on the field, and late in the game, couldn't see a lot of the game. I mean, there's people standing up, and even the way that the Rose Bowl is shaped, it's just a bowl, and you're not way up high. You're kind of
right. It kind of goes back.
Yeah. And so late in the game, Jake Plummer takes the ball and tucks it, in the final minute of the game, and he scores. And all I could hear, I hear fans obviously going nuts, but then I hear the next press box down, he scores.
Yep.
In Tom's raspy voice, and I love Tom Dillon.
Yeah, it's one of the most famous calls, and let me just say too, because I always want to make certain people understand this. This is not to disrespect or ignore Tim Healy, who's done a tremendous job in the 22 years that he's been in that position. And Tim's going to get in the Hall of Fame too someday. Yeah. It's just very important to a lot of us who love Tom. God rest his soul. And it's important to us to do this. Obviously, as they say, Tom left us a number of years ago. Yeah. But a lot of us stay very much in contact with his widow Bonnie, with one of his daughters Lisa, and we want to do this for them because we don't want Tom's impact on broadcasting, on sports in Arizona, to be forgotten. And so we're hopeful, and it's a public vote. So anybody who wants to go on, you just go to the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame website. The ballot is up there. You can vote for as many people as you want on the ballot. And the ballot is pretty impressive. And I'm not suggesting in any way, don't vote for this person, vote for that person. You can vote for as many people as you like, but we would love to see as many people as possible.
Yeah, vote for Tom Dillon. Yeah, I was going to say, Jeff, that my ballot got lost in the mail, but since anybody can go online and vote, then I'll go ahead and do that. So, I was going to ask.
Stole your thunder, Vince.
Yeah.
You know what I think is really
cool?
It
online just for you, Vince. So.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
I think it's really cool, Jeff, that someone such as yourself, who, let's face it, you're a legend. You're never going to tell us that, but we'll tell you. You're a Valley broadcasting legend.
That just means I'm old.
You're trying to.
That's why I don't.
But you're trying to carry the torch, and game recognizes game, Vince. These broadcasters here recognize the people that came before us, that blazed the trail, that made a way for us to do what we're doing right now, here and now. And I just think it's awesome that you're able to really vouch for him and try to get that done, because you realize the importance that he had on our profession.
Well, let me just give a little background too. Prior to Tom becoming the ASU broadcaster in 1979, there were a number of great men who had served in that role, including Al McCoy. Al McCoy was the ASU broadcaster.
Wow. I didn't know
in
that.
The 60s.
No,
yeah.
me neither.
But it would usually just move around. Whatever radio station had the rights to the games, they would take somebody from the staff, and you're the play-by-play broadcaster. Tom was really the first guy who was really attached to the entity, to the program. In fact, just a quick inside baseball story. The rights package came up for bid in 1981. I was working at, I can go ahead and say it, at KNIX. And at the time, they wanted the ASU contract. They were obviously very successful playing country music, but they felt like they had a chance to just get a stranglehold on the market. So they made a really big financial bid to get the package. And when ASU said to them, who are you going to get to do play-by-play, They did not say Tom Dillon. The other station, I'm not going to get, all kidding aside, KTAR was the other station that was bidding on the package, and they told ASU their bid was not as big financially, but they said, you give us the rights, we'll hire Tom Dillon from the station he's on now. And they got the contract, and it was only because they said they would make Tom Dillon the play-by-play guy. He had already been doing the games on another station on KARZ. And so to me, Tom kind of elevated that position to the level it's at now. And I've said, and I said this on social media, Tim has done a great job the last 22 years, but Tom paved the way for Tim Healy.
Yeah.
So that's why, and as I say, and Tim's got a lot of fans here in town, and rightly so. He will have his day. Trust me, he will be in the Hall of Fame someday. We just like to see Tom go in first.
Okay. Well, Jeff Munn, thank you so much for joining us. And again,
good to see you guys.
Oh, it's great to see you.
Great to see you.
I listened to the show. I'm just glad to see what you guys are doing while you're on the air.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear that?
Well,
I did hear that.
I drive around on Saturday mornings. You know, I drive by Phoenix College and Seahoy Field, and
wow,
I did 10 years there. So
yeah, and a Carl Hayden alum as well.
Yeah,
a proud alum.
So I listened to the show. I'm glad to see what you guys are actually doing while you're on the air. So
yeah, see, it's amazing.
Well, luckily you can only see waist down here, Jeff. So it's good. It's good. Thank you so much for coming on. It's great to see you as always. We appreciate you coming on. This is one of our earliest guests we ever had on here, Vince. So thank you again, Jeff, for joining us. Legendary Valley broadcaster here for the Sun Devils, the Suns, the Diamondbacks, you name it. You recognize the voice. Thanks again, Jeff Munn, for joining us. We'll be right back here on the JV Sports Show with Sarah Trahan-Smith from Lindale, Texas. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate your time.
Got it, guys. Good to talk to you.
Have a great weekend.
Care.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
You bet.
Wow, that was neat, James.
Wow, Vince. Wow, Vince. Jeff Munn listens to our show.
Jeff Munn. Wow.
How about that? All right, you ready?
Great. I'm ready.
I'm going to bring her in. Here we go.
Okay.
There she is.
All right. Good morning. Can you hear us?
Yeah, she's just connecting her audio right quick. I see.
Okay.
There we go. How are you, Sarah? Yes. Let's see here. Yeah, I can hear. Go ahead and talk.
I can't hear y'all. Can y'all?
Can't hear us?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Uh-huh.
Do I need earphones?
You might need some earphones or turn your
Okay, hold on.
maybe, yeah, that's probably best to connect to your computer. That's probably the best way to do it.
Where is she, by the way? What state is she in?
Texas, Lindale, Texas. Just outside
that's
of Tyler.
right. You said that.
We'll get the whole scoop. That was a great segment with Jeff.
Yeah.
That was great. This is actually a decent show.
Not bad. Best ever?
Best ever.
Yeah.
As long as we keep saying that, we're good.
I
Coach
know.
Smith, how are you, pal?
Not have. They can't hear you. Is that what you're saying?
They can't hear me. I had to get my husband to help.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
We can hear you fine.
Yeah.
Perfect. I know it's kind of
And I'm
tricky with
trying to
the
lip
Zoom
read.
and then the phone at the same time. So
Can
You're
you
good.
hear us? She can't hear us.
she might need to turn her. You can either listen to us, Sarah, on the computer, or you can listen to us on the phone. So you can either turn your computer volume up and your phone volume down, or your phone volume up and your computer volume down.
Okay.
How's that?
I can hear you now.
There you go.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
So now how does the phone come into play?
It's just, have you called into the station already?
Yeah.
on hold.
Okay, perfect. You just leave that on speakerphone and just turn the volume down on that.
Yeah,
and just
that's-
listen through your earbuds. That's just
for
getting
our
your audio
yeah,
for the radio station.
for the radio, and then this will be for our Zoom, our live stream.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
We'll just talk a little bit about where you're in Lindale, which is just outside of Tyler.
Yes.
Your husband coaches or did coach?
He's a coach. He is coaching, but we just left Lindale this year and we're going to Elkhart.
Welcome back to the JV Sports Show. James Poovey alongside my broadcast partner, Vince Delicio. Vince, it's been a great show so far, and we got one more segment coming up here.
It is just flown. You know, I say this every week that it just flies by on us. And yeah, today definitely hasn't disappointed. It's been a great show, a big show. We've had some outstanding guests with us on today, and we're capping it off with kind of a funny lady.
Yes, indeed. You guys might be familiar with Coach Regalado. We've had on the show here a couple of times. Yeah. He's down there from South Texas doing some funny coaching parodies. And I had asked him before, like, when are you going to do the coach's wife? When are you going to do the football parent mom coming up with, you know, all the different kinds of stuff on her plate? And he goes, I don't know about that. And then all of a sudden, Sarah Trahan-Smith puts out a video. She's a coach's wife. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. Thank you for joining us this morning. Tell us how you were inspired to do this video, and it was just hilarious. Let me tell you, you covered pretty much all the bases. And I don't know which one was your favorite, Vince, but there was so many in that video. Talk to us about what inspired you to get on this video train, if you will.
Well, you know, I'm really not big into Twitter. I made an account before, but I've never really been just on it all the time. And my husband kept popping up saying, hey, look at these videos from Marco, you know, look, they're so funny. And so he'd show me and I would laugh hysterically every time. So whenever I saw his last one, I was like, you know, we're fixing to move. We need a bit of a distraction. I think it would be really fun for me to kind of do a parody of his parody. And, my husband was like, okay, yeah, we can give it a shot. So, you know, I was bossing him around the whole time, telling him, no, hold the camera like this, do it like this. But
he's like, really, is this part of the parody or is this normal? I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah. So, and we were battling kids the whole time because, you know, it was really difficult to get that video done, but it was fun. And Marco is definitely our inspiration for it all.
I love how at the scene, the one little bit where you're standing at the gate trying to get into the game and telling the gate person that you are the wife of the freshman offensive coordinator. I just
B
love
team.
That.
B team.
Yeah,
for sure.
Is your husband really the B team offensive coordinator for the freshmen?
No.
Oh,
He so here in Lindale, he was the co-offensive coordinator, and then at Elkhart, he's going to be the offensive coordinator. So we just thought it would be funny to kind of, you know, make it sound like I'm really important and really in the coaching lingo. That's, you know, it's not that important, but you know, for a coach's wife, who really, some of them know the game and some of them don't. But if you say I am the freshman B team offensive coordinator, like with authority, you know, somebody might believe you.
Yeah, you put your hands on your hips and just open this gate up. I don't understand what the problem is. If you need to go get somebody, just go get them. You know, I mean, that should be enough clout right there, right? Tell people how big high school football is, especially there in East Texas. Now you're in Lindale. For those of you not familiar, it's about an hour and a half east of Dallas, just north of Tyler. And one of the biggest high school rivalries I can ever see is Tyler and Longview. But there's so many other good. Talked about how big Texas high school football is out there,
James
especially
is in heaven
Texas.
right now. This is
I am. I've heard so many Texas phrases just since we've had her on the phone here, Vince. You hadn't even picked up on.
Every week it's something about Texas, but now he finally has his little soapbox. So go ahead, James. Go ahead. I'm going to sit back. I'm actually going to get up and go get some coffee. I think.
Oh boy.
Go for it. Coffee's
it's huge
important.
though, right? Talk to us.
Yeah, no, it really, and I never understood the extent of high school football because I went to Slocum, which is a really, really, really small town. We don't even have a zip code. And so I had, you know, 20 kids in my graduating class and we did not have football. So whenever I married a football coach, it was kind of a shock to me. And so I really got to get into it on a level that I had never experienced before. But Jake, my husband, he tells me all the time how big Texas football is. And he's told it to me from day one. And I, you know, each year I progressively learn how intense, you know, high school football is in Texas. So I never got it until, you know, here recently and seeing all the wives and how much they get into it and their cowbells and their, you know, this and that. It's definitely bigger than I ever imagined it would be. So
It truly is. It's a sorority. Also, being a coach's wife. Now you have small kids as well, and him, being gone a lot, and all the hours that he spent. I mean, you're managing a lot, and obviously it's a sorority of with the coaches' wives in the profession. I mean, it's tough. I mean, talk a little about that, about the time commitment.
Well, it truly just takes an independent woman to be able to be married to a coach. If you don't kind of possess those independent characteristics, then you might struggle a little bit, just because you do have so much on your plate that you have to manage alone for, sometimes 5 months out of the year. So we actually just recently took this job in Elkhart, and it's kind of a unicorn position because he's going to have Saturdays off, which is really sort of unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're actually really excited for this move, just because we do have small children, and for him to be able to have a little bit more flexibility with his time off during the season.
Now, how far away is the move?
Oh,
it's only about an hour from where we live now. So
Okay.
it's not too terrible, but of course, anytime we move, it's hard because it's a change, and I have to find a new job every time, and it's always difficult. But
what's
I'm
Jake like
excited.
after a loss?
He really doesn't say much, and it's hard for me because I want to be like, y'all should have done this, this, and this, but I just have to tone myself back and say, I'm super proud of you. I'm your number one fan. I love you, and that's pretty much all I've learned to say at this point, because really nothing that I say is going to change anything. So I just try and be supportive after a loss.
How technical do you get with him though, Sarah? Like after a lot, hey, listen, I told you should have ran the power right there when you guys wanted to go 5 wide and try to spread the field a little bit. You should have ran it right up the middle and you'd have scored it. I don't understand.
I'm definitely not there. I am not there yet. It's more of like why did y'all keep trying for a 2-point conversion instead of kicking a field goal? Y'all lost so many points then, or, just like the simple stuff, not
right.
Nothing intense as far as like calling plays or whatever.
I don't know what is going on in Texas in terms of this pandemic, because we're so focused on our own state here in Arizona. But how has that affected, getting things going? I mean, how is he communicating with his team, practices? Are you on schedule at the beginning of the season? How is all that?
Well, Zoom obviously has taken just over a huge aspect of his coaching abilities. He's been doing like workouts on Zoom and everything. So it's different now that he's in the middle of switching jobs. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, but just basically Zoom has just been a huge part of being able to communicate with his players and everything during this pandemic.
Awesome stuff. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us this morning here on the JV Sports Show. We really appreciate it. Where can people reach you on social media if they haven't had a chance to see your videos? Because it's really good stuff. I'd love for them to check them out. Tell them how to get a hold of you.
So I'm on Twitter. I don't even know how you find me on Twitter.
We could post a link. Through our
we'll do that too. Exactly. Yeah.
JV Sports Show.
The coaches typically can find me on Twitter, and then the coaches' wives can find me on Facebook. So
there you go.
And your Twitter handle is at MRS_coach_Smith. So just get her on Twitter at MRS_coach_Smith. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Guys.
And, you guys have a great weekend out there. Enjoy some good barbecue for me. All right.
All right. We'll do.
Take care.
Wow,
Bye.
James, that's we're coming up on the end of another show. Oh, I do want to say, James, congratulations. We have a good friend of ours coming back on the air, joining us, or not joining us, but coming on right after we log off. And that's the Easy Sports Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams. Welcome back, guys.
Glad to have you guys back on the air. It's fantastic. We can't wait to tune in, and we wish you nothing but continued success. And you guys are the trailblazers, let's face it. So we're just trying to follow in your footsteps. So we're glad to hear that you guys are back on the air this morning.
Yeah. So stay tuned. You guys that are listening here in the Phoenix area or anywhere you're at, you've got the station's live stream link. You listen to the Easy Sports Show coming up from 10 to 12. So right after us, and another great show, James.
Yeah, it was great, Vince. And don't forget, last night we released our special high school spring sport athlete tribute show on our YouTube channel. So we got to visit with a number of great athletes. Leo Dashbach, Kiana Kai, Ronan Kopp was on with us. Who else did we have? Landis
CJ Molina.
Jamerson, DJ Molina from Pueblo High School down in Tucson. So a great visit with those athletes. So check that show out when you get a chance. Just go to our YouTube channel and make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. You'll get notified anytime we post something new or we go live, which we will do often.
Big thank you to our guests this morning from the Phoenix Union High School District and aspiring drummer from the Honey Badgers, Dr. Zach Munoz. We had Scottsdale Community College head men's basketball coach Mark Bunker, Valley legend broadcaster Mr. Jeff Munn, and Mrs. Coach's wife on Twitter, a Twitter sensation, Sarah Trahan-Smith from South Texas.
Fantastic show.
Thanks to our partners.
Oh, yes. That's a movement company, Sal's Gilbert Pizza, Let It Fly Football Skills and Drills Camp, which don't forget, we'll be doing a live broadcast from out there as soon as they get that ramped up again. We get this COVID thing figured out. Thanks, as always, to our sponsors, Vets Built Contracting.
Angel Dentistry.
Buffalo yes.
Wild Wings. And thank you to our fans. Thursday night football coaches, any schools still want to participate, hit us up. We'll let you know what dates are open. Right now we got one. And we'll stay in touch with you. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week here on the JV Sports Show.
Everybody have a great weekend. Take care. Stay safe. Wash those hands. And don't forget to watch that space launch coming up at 12:22 this afternoon.
Go JV.
Go JV and go USA. Thanks, man. Oh, that's right, because they have to get on now. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sweet. Good show, man.
Nice job, man. That's great. And
let me go ahead and end the stream here right quick.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.